Welcome to QuickBooks, How to Add Inventory. My name is Matt Holtquist with the QuickBooks University, and in this video, I'm going to show you some of the tips and tricks in adding inventory into QuickBooks Desktop. Okay, first things first, if you find this video helpful and it has taught you something today, all I ask is that you give it a thumbs up, you like the video, you share it, and you also subscribe to my channel. I'm coming out with new videos at least once a week, and I also use it for feedback from you guys when you leave comments, and it helps me create content for the channel. Second thing, I work with or have worked with over 4,000 QuickBooks University members, ranging from business owners to accountants to bookkeepers, and I have helped them learn QuickBooks and use it with confidence at the QuickBooks University. So I invite you, head over there, check it out, QuickBooks University. I've got the masterclass where I also answer all of your questions. That website is qbuniversity.org. Okay, so in this video, let's get down to this. We are talking about adding inventory in QuickBooks. Now, I want to give you kind of a big overview of, okay, here's how inventory works. And I'm going to show you how to add these inventory items and also show you how to structure your inventory items. Now, first things first. Okay, so inventory in QuickBooks, you can track reorder points, you can track, quantity on hand, prices, cost, all that good stuff within here. And when you use it to its fullest extent, then it's a really, really powerful tool. All right, so the first thing that you want to take a look at in QuickBooks with inventory is you want to go up to your list drop-down menu, and you're going to see something here that says Item List. I want you to click on this. Now, if you have a new QuickBooks file, you have just set up your company file, this is going to be blank. There's going to be nothing in here. Now, the item list is used, if you want to think about it, as a database. It's a database of, you can see here the type. You've got service items, you've got inventory. QuickBooks calls them inventory parts. That is inventory. You've got inventory assemblies, non-inventory parts, other charges groups. So really this item list is used for a number of things in addition to inventory that you have in your business. Like I said, it's kind of a database where invoices and purchase orders and all this will all pull from this database. So this is where, in this item list, is where you are going to set up your inventory items. So first thing, go to your item list. Now, if yours is blank, the first thing I always recommend people do is really sit down and think about, okay, what do we have in inventory? Because if you look at this list here, you'll see that you've got categories of inventory. So in this case, they've got cabinets, and then they have sub inventory items. Okay, so under cabinets, they've got cabinet pulls, they've got light pine. Under hardware, they've got brass hinges, doorknob standard, locking doorknobs, wood door, etc. So you want to really kind of map out what your inventory is and what it looks like. I always tell people just, put together a quick Excel worksheet of all of your inventory, and you're going to have some major categories. And then underneath, you're going to have subcategories or sub items. So for example, you might have a t-shirt in a certain style, and you may have 3 different colors. Well, those 3 colors could be the sub inventory items. All right, so you want to get that structure down first before you go in and you set up this item list. It's very, very important. Otherwise, it can become a nightmare and a mess to clean up down the road. So think about that structure on the front end. All right, so when you are ready to go ahead and enter your inventory items, you can do one of two things. You can right-click anywhere on this screen, or you can go down here to Item and click on New. So if you right-click, you'll see you can say New, and it's going to bring up this entry box. So the first thing is you want to choose, we are setting up an inventory part, and you'll see here we have the first box that we want to enter is item, name, or number. Now, Some people like, let me go back to the item list just to show you. So you can see here, this one doesn't have any numbers. Some people like to have item numbers and some people like to just do it by name. Some people like to do both. Now you'll have to decide how you want to do that in your business. Sometimes when you have just thousands of items, a numbering system is going to be a little bit better. If you have 30 items, maybe the names are better. It's a little bit easier to track. All right, now I do have some people that will say, okay, this item number is 1, 2, 3, 4, and it is overhead door. I'm just making this up. So they have the item name and the number. Now, next box, is this a sub item, which what we were just talking about a second ago in your structure and your organization. If this is, you're going to check this box and you're going to tell QuickBooks, okay, this is a sub item of something. We're going to say this is a sub item of the wood door. And then if you buy from a certain manufacturer, you can put in the part number here. You can leave it blank and that's okay. Now down here, unit of measure, this really gets into if you have certain types of inventory, for example, that you buy, let's say a box of inventory and there are, 12 pieces of inventory within the box. So in QuickBooks, you really want to specify, it's important when you're purchasing inventory so it keeps your inventory counts correctly, that I'm buying 10 boxes and they each have 12 pieces each, so I've got 120 items that go into inventory. You're going to show the purchase of 10 boxes, but then it will calculate for you that there are 120 items going into inventory that you have on hand. So in this case, we're going to leave it blank. And the reason is because we are just doing a door and it just comes as one door. All right, now your description on purchase transactions, you can leave this blank. This is for purchase orders. So when you submit a purchase order to the manufacturer of these overhead doors, you can have it automatically fill in a description. So again, you can type in whatever you want, and then on the face of the purchase order, you can change this. This is not permanent, it's not set in stone. So we'll just say overhead door. Your cost, again, this may vary and prices fluctuate, so they're going to go up and down. So if your cost right now is, let's say, $52.67, that's fine. You can leave it as is. And then when you actually submit the purchase order, you can change this price. But for now, we'll leave it as $52.67. Now, the cost of goods sold account. The cost of goods sold is in accounting when you sell a piece of inventory, the cost, this $52.67, goes into cost of goods sold. So you buy inventory, it gets put in your accounting records on the balance sheet as an asset. When you sell it, it takes it out of that asset and it moves it to cost of goods sold, which is an expense. So you have to specify what account is this going to go to. Well, in this case, we've got a couple of different cost of goods sold accounts, and I'm going to say job materials because this is an overhead door. We're going to use it for a job. It's going to be job materials. So every time I make this sell a door, the expense that's going to go to cost of goods sold will go to this account. So you want to specify what accounts these are going to go to. Preferred vendor, you can put this in or you can leave it blank. It doesn't really matter. Now the sales price, same thing as a purchase, except this is what you're going to sell this thing for. So when you create an invoice in QuickBooks, it will automatically, as I said before, this is like a database, it'll pull this price into your invoice. And again, prices are going to change, they're going to fluctuate. You may have a sale, you may increase prices, whatever it is. You can always change this on the face of an invoice, or you can always go back into this item and change it if you'd like as well. So we're going to say that this is $110. Tax code, this gets into whether or not this is a taxable sale. So for sales tax, do you charge sales tax? And this is a big area. It's going to depend on the customer. It's going to depend on if you're reselling this or if your customer is going to resell it. Depends on the location, depends on a number of things. So you really are going to have to do some research in your business whether or not the items you are selling are subject to sales tax. Now, because this is inventory, this is a construction company, it may not be, but we're going to leave it as taxable sales. Now, again, just like the cost of goods sold account, when you set this item up, this inventory item, when you sell it and you put it on an invoice in QuickBooks, you need to specify what income account will this go to. Okay, so you sell it and it has to be categorized somehow. So we are going to say that this is going to be materials income, so that every time we sell one of these doors, these overhead doors, it's going to go to materials income. And the expense account is going to be job materials, which is cost of goods sold. Okay? So we got all that set up. Inventory information, when we purchase the inventory, if you remember a minute ago, I said it's an asset on the balance sheet. You need to specify what account, what asset, what inventory account this is going to go to when you purchase these. So if you stock them and it's inventory, what account is it going to go to? In this case, they just have one inventory asset account set up. You can set up sub-accounts. So if you have multiple items or big, broad categories of inventory, you can put these as sub-accounts. Since they just have this inventory asset account, I'm going to put inventory asset. And a reorder point. So if you want QuickBooks to tell you, hey, you need to reorder this certain inventory item when it's getting low, you can specify that in here. So I'm going to say 3 for these doors. And the maximum, we're going to say 10, all right? And let's see, on hand, if we're going to say that we don't have any of these on hand in this example. Now, if you're starting out QuickBooks and you've already been in business, you are going to put in here that, hey, I've got 10 of these on hand, all right? Or whatever number it is. So let's say that I've got 10 on hand right now. Let's see, not 100. 10, we're going to say that the total value is $526.70 because it's multiplying by my cost as of a certain date. So whatever date that, it could be your last financial statement, it could be the date you're doing QuickBooks, whatever it is, you're going to put that in. All right, so once you have all this information in here, all you have to do is click OK. So now you're going to see that there's an overhead door. So I want to give you an example here of where this comes into play. 2 quick examples. You don't want to miss this because this is very, very important. All right, so the first one is if we are going to do a purchase order. Okay, create purchase order. And I'm just going to pick a vendor. We'll say Bruce's Office Machines. So you'll see the item drop-down box here, and you're going to see the overhead door. Overhead door, the description that we just set up went in here, $52.67. You see it defaulted to that item that we just set up. And again, you can always change this. So if their price changed to $55.32, you just do that, and voila, it updates the purchase order. Okay, now we're not going to save this. Here's the other part where this is very, very important is we say customers create invoices. So if we're going to do an invoice for a customer and we'll say Robert Allard, if we want to bill him for this overhead door, you'll see right here, inventory item, overhead door, quantity, we'll say 2. You'll see our sales price that we set up in the item, and the total amount, $220, taxable, which we set up. So it is charging sales tax and the total. So this is how inventory all plays together within QuickBooks. Very, very important to make sure you think through how you want to set it up on the front end, and it'll help you save a lot of time and headache down the road. All right, any questions, any comments, feel free to leave those below. Also, as I mentioned before, head over to the QuickBooks University, sign up for that master class. These are the types of things I go through in excruciating detail and walk you through step by step how to use QuickBooks. That website again is qbuniversity.org.